show will be starting soon. The show will be starting soon. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. You guys hit the like button on the way in. Please hit the like button on the way in. As we get ready. We going to court. We're going to court. As we get ready to go to court. If you have a page, if you have access to a community wall, please share this live. Please share this live. And if you'd like to support the page, you can hit up Wabbit Crime Network on PayPal, on Cash App, or you can hit the anonymous donation link. You can hit through Super Chat. You can join the membership for Wabbit Crime Network. We have all kinds of content. And join the Wabbit Crime Network Discord so you don't miss out on any Wabbit Crime Network content. And the Discord will be updated regularly. It's under construction right now. Any input from the community is welcomed. Any input is welcome. And without any further ado, let's start the show. Yeah, we are here. We are here. Shout out to the chat. So, I want to know why am I getting that extra. Anyway, shout out to the chat. Salute to everybody that's in here. Thank you for pulling up at the Wabbit Crime Network. Today we're going to watch a couple cases today, not just one. We're going to watch a couple cases today. I don't like how this thing is. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. All right, that's much better. All right. So, good morning to everyone. Today we have an interesting show today. We're going to be watching court today. We're going to be watching some parole hearings. We have 5 cases. 5 cases we are going to watch today. We're going to watch the process. We're doing a watch along. We're going to react. This is how it's going to go. If this is your first time participating in the Wabbit Crime Network live stream, I'm going to let you know how this one goes when we're doing parole hearings. Parole hearings are basically voted on. People go to parole and they speak to multiple judges and they get interviewed, and then the judges have to vote on whether or not they're going to grant the parole. So we're going to watch a couple of those cases, and we're going to interact. So before the judges make their final vote, we are going to take a break, and we are going to do a poll where the audience votes on what they think the verdict will be. So we're going to watch the video. We're going to watch the actual cases, and I will stop it right before the judge votes. I will start a vote, and then I will end the vote after about 3 to 5 minutes, and then we will play the results, the judge's decision, and then we'll move on to the next case. We might have a minor discussion in between. I might give my thoughts on the case, and then we'll move on to the next case. So we have a couple of those that we're going to be doing today. So if you guys like People's Court, you like Judge Judy, if you like Judge Joe Brown, or any of those kind of cases, then you should definitely find this entertaining. It'll be very interactive. While the videos are playing, I will not be reacting to the videos itself while they're playing. For that, we will be in the chat. I will be in the chat with everyone. So I will be interacting with you in the chat. And people in the audience will get to see our chat interaction on the screen in the online chat box. So people who are watching on TV, people who are not interacting in the chat, they can still see our interaction while the video is going on. So hopefully this will be a very good experience. I expect to have fun. Some cases might be more interesting than others, but nonetheless, it's an interesting experience. So I'm going to get that ready, and we are going to enjoy the show. And I will see you guys in the chat when I start the video. I want to thank everyone in advance for their support. Anyone who sends a donation through the link that's pinned, they will have whatever name they choose to put in the anonymous donation link. It will be at the top right of the screen. At the top right of the screen, it will have the names of the last 5 or 10 people that donated through the donation link. Your name will not be up there if you do not donate through the donation link that's pinned at the top. Super chats, those will not show the name at the top of the screen. However, super chats will be alerted. We will get a thank you alert that pops up on the screen. Messages will not be read. Messages will not be read, and that's for my core audience that knows me from other pages. They know how I set up. So that's not how it goes over here. But definitely, donations will be acknowledged. Super chats will not be highlighted, but they will definitely be in the chats, and they are noticed, and they are welcomed, and they are appreciated. Yeah, we ready. Oh no, we not ready. Good morning. Good morning. Hold on one second. What happened here? Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties, real quick. Morning to everybody in the chat. I downloaded the video this morning and made some edits to it, but the file is corrupt. But for some reason, the file is corrupt. That sucks. All right, give me 1 second. I got backup, but wanted it to be a certain way. So I'm gonna do something in the background while I do this. Let me get this thing. Guess I have to go with the original video until I all right, so I'll have to go with the original video until I fix what I got going on. I have an edited version of this same video. I have an edited version of this same video that let me see. Okay. Okay. And edit. Shout out to the chat. All right. I'm in the background doing stuff over. 1080p. Good morning, everyone. We got the Wabbit Crime Network Discord. Make sure you guys join the Wabbit Crime Network Discord. If you want to want to stay up to date with Wabbit Crime Network news, information, things of that sort. And so how this is gonna go? They're gonna explain the case. They're gonna explain why the person, the defendant, why they were locked up, how long they were locked up for, how long they've been in jail. When I say, let me say that again. How long their sentence is. They'll explain how long they've been in jail. They'll explain when is their earliest release date and what is their maximum release date. You'll get their docket number, their name. So anyone who wants to look further into any of these cases can just take that information. You can get the name, the docket number, you can get the date, you can get the date of arrest, you can get the year of the release date. You can get all that information from these videos, from the video. And in the description, there is a link to the website of the parole board where you can put in the name and the docket number. If you want to look into any of these cases further, you can. So that's definitely a resource that is available. So hopefully anybody that's interested in any of these cases will take advantage of that. And without any further ado, we're going to start our first case. We are going to start our first case. No sound. Oh, no sound, no good. Let me check something. Hold up, hold up. Why is there no sound? Oh, that's what happened the last time. Okay. All right, I know what to do. Gotcha. Gotcha. Testing.
Good morning, Mr. Valerie. How are you today, sir?
Do we have sound?
Good morning, I'm
Do
good.
we have sound?
Mr. Valerie, would you give me your full name and DOC number?
David Valerie, 406-163.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. After we do the interview, we'll ask the warden for any input he may have, and we'll have, if you have any supporters, they'll be allowed to make a statement on your behalf. I think we have a list. Do we have some people here on behalf of Mr. Valerie? Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Valerie. Mr. Valerie, you have three people here today in support of you. Christine Valerie, your niece, Melinda Lyons, your cousin, and Dr. Kenneth Williams, who is a friend of yours. They will all be speaking on your behalf today. At the end, you'll be allowed to make a statement before the board, then the board will vote. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of David L. Valerie, DOC number 406-163, date of birth June 26th of 1970. He's a second-class felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of August the 1st of 2021, an adjusted good time date of November the 7th of 2025, a full-term date of May the 3rd of 2036. He is currently serving a 40-year sentence for the charges of armed robbery, 2 counts, and criminal conspiracy to commit armed robbery. Mr. Valerie, is that information accurate?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valerie, your case has been assigned to me, so I'll begin our interview process, okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valerie, how old are you today, sir?
53,
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
26 years.
And you were roughly 27 at the time that this happened?
Yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about Mr. David Valerie at 27 years old. Tell me a little bit about your education. How much education did you have back then?
I had some college. I'd been to college for 3 years at Grambling State University.
Okay. Were you working?
Yes, sir.
What kind of work were you doing?
In telemarketing for Ticketmaster.
Okay. And drugs or alcohol involved at all in this crime or in your life at all?
Yeah, there was some recreationally.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about the recreational. You're talking about drugs or alcohol?
Alcohol.
Okay. Let's talk about alcohol first. When did you start drinking? How old were you when you first started drinking?
Probably about 17, 18, right after I finished high school, doing my senior, going to college.
And what would you drink?
Beer. I started hard liquor like in college.
Okay. How often were you drinking?
Sometimes every day.
Now, when this occurred, which would have been in August of 1997, how often were you drinking then?
Basically every day, every other day.
Now, as you look back, do you believe you were then an alcoholic?
Yeah, you can say that, yes, sir.
Okay. How about now today? Do you still believe you're an alcoholic?
Well, I can say I'm a recovering alcoholic because I haven't drank it.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about drugs.
Years that
Back then?
I see that.
Did you use drugs back then?
No, recreationally.
Okay, well, define for me recreational. What kind of drugs did you use?
I smoked weed, marijuana.
Okay. Ever do cocaine?
No, I never did anything hard, no hard drugs.
So marijuana was the only thing you smoked back then?
Yes.
Were you smoking that in 97 as well?
We were in a group setting over there with friends. I would smoke, with them.
Okay, back in 1997, when all of it, when this robbery happened, were you smoking marijuana back then?
Oh, yes.
How
I
often?
had smoked it I had smoked it the day of the crime, but I had smoked it prior to that, like maybe 3-4 days before that.
And how often were you smoking marijuana back then?
Like maybe once, twice a week.
So tell me what happened. What prompted you and Mr. Counts to rob this bank?
Well, we were going to Atlanta, and I stopped by my mother's house. And on the way there, I saw one of my high school teachers, and I was talking to her, and he left out the car and he went in the bank and robbed the bank. I didn't know about it till afterwards. And when I tried to take off, the dye in the bag, the money bag burst. That's when I knew what had happened. And we went to Oregon and stuff, and I drove off.
Police report indicates that you're the one that went inside the bank and Mr. Counts was outside in the car.
No, that's not the police. The police report. I know I'm not the one that went in the bank. I was the one with driving the car.
You went to trial, or you pled guilty?
I went to trial.
And what were the facts that came out at the trial?
The victim, the lady is in the bank. They said that I wasn't the one that went in the bank. They identified Timothy Counts as the person that went in the bank.
So what happened? What made y'all decide to go rob this bank?
I didn't really decide. He decided upon himself. He just ran in there and ran out. I ended up being a participant, and I had to take full responsibility for my actions because I was with him.
Well, now you were convicted of not only armed robbery, but conspiracy to commit an armed robbery, which meant you understood and knew what was going on.
Yeah, that's how they made it stick in court.
You were just an innocent bystander?
Yes, sir. By me coming from Texas to Louisiana, the judge was saying that at some point it was a principle and conspiracy, that it was conspired at some point before we made it to Louisiana.
The jury found that out. Why did that conclude that? What facts came out that showed you knew what was going to happen?
The judge just said, the judge that I had, all he kept harping on was the principle and conspiracy by me coming from the state of Texas into Louisiana. He's saying that it was some part that it had some type of conspiring or principle to it.
In other words, you knew what was going on, is what the judge said.
Yeah, that's what he kept saying.
And you're saying that's not true. So you were just an innocent bystander. You really didn't have anything to do with this. You just were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes, sir, because I'm from that area. I know everybody in there.
You know, Mr. Valerie, let me tell you, I came in here thinking, this guy's done a lot of stuff while he's been in prison. He's had a lot of rough times. He's had a lot of disciplinary issues, but he seemed to have straightened all of those out. Looks like he's cleaned up his act. So I came in here hoping that you were going to be honest with me, tell me what you did and how you did it, and I was going to vote for you. But I'm having real trouble now because I'm not believing that you're being honest with me. I don't believe that you didn't know what y'all were doing.
I know what the paperwork is saying and everything, but sir, I'm being totally honest with you. If I had known then what was going on, I would have turned him in myself because I wasn't raised like that.
Well,
I was taught to work, go to school, work, and be a law-abiding citizen.
You've got a Perhaps not a long criminal history, but you've got other crimes. You've got shoplifting charges, fraud charges, forgery charges, theft charges. I mean, you've got a little bit of a history of criminality behind you. So don't tell me this is the first time you ever done anything.
I only have one.
You were arrested in 1985 for shoplifting, 1993 for fraud and marijuana, 1994 for forgery.
That was all the same charge, huh?
Well, one's 1993, tampering with government property, fraud, possession of marijuana. That was in 93. 94, you had more tampering with government records. 94, you had a forgery charge. So you've been around before. Now, your position is you're innocent. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
No, I'm not innocent, you know. But I didn't know at that time what was going on. Afterwards, I had to take full responsibility for my actions.
So what did you do wrong? Tell me, what did you do wrong other than being in a car with a guy who went in and robbed a bank?
The person I was affiliated with. If I'd have knew then what I know now, I'd have made better choices. And I know not to be around that person.
Tell me what you've done since you were denied parole back in 2021. Tell me what programs you've taken since then.
I've taken a vow.
Tell me what a vow is. That's relative to victims. Tell me what that's about.
Yes, sir. I learned that in a vow that I not only heard it myself, the victim, the community, all the different people involved. I didn't know that by taking a vow, I learned that there was a bigger perimeter of people that was affected by the crime. I completed VOTEC in automotive. I specialized in service consulting.
Tell me how you're going to remain sober if you were to be paroled. What's your plan to stay sober?
Well, I can enroll in programs, but I have a good support system out there. People that's all positive, I'm gonna surround myself with. And I know after 26 years, I've learned that my mistakes, I had to correct them and know that, you know, I'm gonna be a law-abiding citizen and make sure that this never happens again in my life. Whole life.
What will never happen again?
Me committing a crime, period.
Well, you've been telling me that you didn't do anything wrong. You just were in the wrong place at the wrong time. My question to you is, how are you going to stay sober? You said something about classes. What have you taken in prison that would give you some tools to maintain your sobriety when you get out?
I took AA, NA, living in balance.
Okay, what did you learn from AA and NA?
That I have to always think before my actions. Before I do something, I always think about it and know that, you know, the consequences for all my actions. So I have to stop, think, and do problem solving first.
And are AA meetings important to you?
Yeah, they will be.
And tell me what your plan is for AA meetings.
Well, I'm gonna try to, once I get a job, I'm gonna find out where there's a program that have the AA, NA meetings and 12 steps.
Questions? Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Valerie?
You know, David's only been here since 21. I think not too long after he got here, he had his first hearing with y'all, or had a hearing with y'all. He's a dorm orderly here. He did finish automotive. You know, he has not had any write-ups since he's been here, and mean, when I'm around him, he's pretty respectful. So, I can only speak for when he's here. I know he has a pretty significant past history. I think it was 64 write-ups prior to being here. His last one was in 2020. Prior to being here. He's been pretty good since he's been here.
Thank you, Warden, very much. Ms. Wallace, you have a question?
Good morning, David.
Good morning.
The records show you have 2 children. What's the ages of your children?
35 and 29.
What kind of relationship do you have with them?
It's on and off. I hadn't really been in their lives a lot, and the baby mamas, they really been like, when I try to reach out to them, they'd be like, well, you don't want to talk to me, baby. Your daddy been in prison, you know, in prison. So it's nothing he can do for you.
That's true. That's true. So you have 2 different mothers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you were at Grambling, what were you majoring in?
Business administration with a minor in accounting.
You have a charge of defrauding the government. What was that all about?
That was a check.
That was in Houston.
Yeah, that was a check that I had wrote, and the check ended up bouncing.
Okay. Okay, it just involved, but you trying to pass a tampering with government records is what it says. You got 1 year confinement in Texas and $189 in court costs. You remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that about now? A check?
Yeah, it was a check I had wrote, and the check ended up bouncing, and the bank wanted to recover the money for it. So they gave me, I thought it was just a forgery charge. I didn't know it was tampering with government records too.
It reads here, yeah, tampering with government records. Do you remember who the check was written to?
Not right offhand. It may have been, I think, Best Buy.
Oh, it was a store. Okay. Okay. Our probation parole reached out to your victims, and they one of the store clerks is deceased, and the other one didn't want to make a statement. They had no statements, one way or the other as to your release. What is your you said you guys were headed to Atlanta, and so whose idea was it to stop at the bank? Who was banking there?
No one. I had saw one of my high school teachers there because I'm from that area.
Okay, so you just stopped and talked to your high school teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
And she happened to be at the bank. When you stopped to talk to your high school teacher, were you all at the bank then?
Yeah, the bank and the store is all connected in the same place. The bank
gotcha. Okay. So you actually were at a store.
Yeah, it's like the bank, the post office, and the little convenience store is right behind it.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Parked on the side between the post office and the convenience store.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting there talking to her, and he said, I'm going to take care of something right quick. And he went in the bank and came out.
Okay.
I didn't know what had happened until he said, well, let's go. It's time for us to go. We're going to be late. And after that, that's when we
You didn't notice the bag. You didn't notice him coming out with a bag and had gone in without a bag. You didn't notice?
No, I didn't notice him. And then he came out. And when I realized what was going on, when we drove off, that's when the dye out of it bust in the car.
Okay. So did your friend that he didn't accept any responsibility? He didn't take responsibility, ownership of what he did and try to get you out of this?
No, at the end he did.
At the end? What you mean at the end?
Like when we was about to go to trial, he tried to change his story and clear me, but the judge was set on both of us going.
Oh, okay.
With the principle and conspiracy.
Oh, okay. He just further complicated it at that point.
Yeah, the judge was just saying, like, y'all both gonna get convicted because y'all came from out of state with this. And
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you for answering my questions. That's all I had, Chairman.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from your supporters. Ms. Christine Valerie.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your uncle.
Well, my name is Christine Valerie Boma. I'm David's niece, but we were raised together as sister and brother. My grandparents, his parents raised me from when I was 5, so we're more like sister and brother. So I just wanted to say that I'm representing the Valerie family, that we really are going to be supportive of him if he's released. We've been waiting, it's been over 25 years. He's missed a lot of milestones in the family, good and bad. Unfortunately, both his parents have passed away while he's been in jail. He's lost a sister and a brother, the sister being my mother. He's missed out on births in the family. My own daughter, she's graduated high school. He's missed out on all these things. We feel that he's remorseful, has been rehabilitated, and we are going to support him financially, emotionally, any way that we can as a family so that he can be a productive member of society. That's what we want for him. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we'll hear from Ms. Melinda Lyons.
Hi, I'm on respectfully asking you that you would grant David parole. David has grown into one of the most sensitive, kind, and caring person that I know of, and I know that he got himself into some serious trouble, and we're here now. But he really does accept responsibility for his crimes. And I know that he'll find employment, stay out of trouble, and get on the right path. He's welcome to come to my home if he needs to get a good start. But I'm hoping that you'll give him a second chance and grant him parole.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we'll hear from Dr. Kenneth Williams. Dr. Williams, it looks like you're speaking. I can't quite see your mouth, but you're on mute, I think.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Can you move back?
Can you back up just a little? There you go.
You can't see your face. Yeah, there we go. That's better.
All right. Okay. Good morning, board. My name is Dr. Kenneth Williams, and I've been friends with David Valerie for probably 40 years now. We met at Grambling State University when we were freshmen or sophomores, etc. I've gone on this journey with David since his incarceration. I currently work as a mental health therapist and coupled with providing housing for men for second chance programs like David will need. David probably right now have 40 other people who wish they could be on the phone who are waiting for me to call them about this parole decision here. He will have, insurmountable support making that transition from prison to home, back to the community. I know that he's truly remorseful just based on the conversations that we've had over the last 25 years, 25 plus years. I think he's truly remorseful about that decision, about what occurred with the victims, how their lives were impacted, how he's impacted his family lives, his kids, etc. And I just humbly ask that this committee truly consider his parole favorably.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williams. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Valerie, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
I'd like the board to know that I'm not that same person that I was in August 1997. that throughout my incarceration, I've learned that I take full responsibility, and I've learned that the crime that I've partaken in, that it's affected a lot of people, not only the victim, the community, my family, everyone that's been around me that know me. And, I live every day for 26 years with regret, what ifs, my remorsefulness. I know that I can and I will be a productive success in society if I'm released. I look at that commercial, that's the Second Look Alliance commercial, when the lady was incarcerated. She got out after 25 years and she became, a law-abiding citizen. She got a house and all that. And I said, this could be me. Throughout these years, I spend a lot of time, trying to educate other people that, just by the small thing you do in life, your whole life could be taken away from you. And I like to apologize to the victims, the community, whoever else I may have hurt it along the way. And, I'm remorseful is not, it's an understatement because I had to live these 26 years with what if, and I know I'm a better person than that. I've lived my whole life, I've learned throughout life. I've learned to discipline myself, to be patient and know that life is more than, a simple act, And I like to say, if I'm given an opportunity, I could prove to everyone that, anybody that's doubting or whatever, I can be a success story. Because throughout my incarceration, all I did was tutor, and I was a tutor and tried to educate other people that, how important it is for education. And if I know what I know now, I would have never, ever participated in that crime. And, I'm sorry. That's all I could do is continue to apologize like I have. And, from the bottom of my heart, I'm really, really wishing that I could have given a second chance in life.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion for executive session.
All right. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at that moment. We are at that moment when the judges are about to vote. He's about to make a motion.
I second.
There's been a motion and second for executive session. I agree. So we'll go into executive session. We will be at recess momentarily. We're going to go into executive session to discuss. We can do a roll call. Yes.
Parole. Yes.
Yes.
We're going to be in executive session to discuss matters of a confidential nature. We'll return very shortly. We'll be at recess.
Wow. What is that about? What is that about? All right. This is an interesting one. This is actually a great time to get our votes in. Will he be granted parole? Will the defendant, will the parolee, not will the convict get parole? Will the convict get parole? Will the judges trying to word this question right? Will the judges grant parole in this case? will the judges grant parole in this case? All right, there we go. Get your votes in. I'm gonna start the timer. We can deliver. We're gonna have a 5-minute timer so that everyone can get their votes in. Everyone can get their votes in. I find that was it's an interesting one. It's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of things to consider. This guy has an extensive criminal history for similar crimes, for very similar crimes, fraud, theft, and then finally this situation here is bank robbery. He did say he wasn't the one that committed the crime. He was in the car. I mean, that story, the story itself sounds like that can happen, but the likelihood of that happening to you, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what every getaway driver says, Like, I believe that's what every getaway driver would say. So I find that interesting. He's been locked up for over 25 years. So 26 years he's been in jail for this bank robbery. Do you feel that he have learned his lesson? Do you think he has done his time? Do you think he deserves a second chance after the 26 years he's been in there? You heard his story. You heard the questions. I do have to say that initially, and by the way, I haven't seen this case. I have not seen the case. I don't know what the results is going to be. All right, so we are watching this together, and we are getting this information together. I did not see this case, and what got me is his ending statement. Initially, when I heard the judges asking him the questions, I said, yeah, they not giving him no parole. They're not giving him no parole. But the ending statement, I'm like, man, I wonder if this guy's words can possibly do the job. I wonder if his words can possibly sway the judges to change their mind. Because I feel that they wasn't going to let him go. I feel like when they was asking him the questions that they asked him, I feel like they weren't satisfied with his answers. And I was like, man. Me personally, I say 26 years, I doubt you're going to rob any bank. I doubt you're going to rob a bank again, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, after 26 years, bro, I doubt you going to rob a bank again. That's just how I feel. But especially if he's not the one that actually robbed the bank, Yeah, but he said his answers was, oh man. Okay, he was a college student before he committed the crime. 40 years for bank robbery. I mean, bank robbery, considering what bank robbery is a serious crime that they can. I don't think there's a statute of limitations for bank robbery. If you're wanted for bank robbery, I don't think they stop looking for you. So that's how serious it is to them. It's just like murder. They don't stop looking for you, I believe. Was there a weapon involved? I have no idea. And if it was the other person, I guess his co-defendant, most likely we probably would have heard more information about, what happened, because according to him, he was in the car when the crime actually took place. He got found guilty. He was found guilty. He didn't take a guilty plea, so he was found guilty. So he went to trial, and they found him guilty. All right. All right. Our 5 minutes is up. I'm going to end the poll. All right, the poll is ended. We got 32 votes. It's pretty close. It is pretty close. Will the judges grant parole in this case? We got 32 votes, and 56% said no, they will not grant parole, and 43% said yes. So we got people, the majority of the people believe that he will not be granted parole in this case. They believe he will not be granted parole in this case. 56%. The judges went out for, they went to have a deliberation. I haven't seen them done this before since I've watched any of these trials. So this is the first time I'm seeing them do something like this. And I'm thinking they're about to change their mind. I think they wasn't going to let him go. And I think his speech, his ending statement, I think that played on their heart, because once I seen that they wanted to have a deliberation privately, I think because one of them had a change of heart. That's what I think. So let's see how that goes. And thank you everybody for the participation. Thank you for the participation. Let's see how this case gets wrapped up.
We're back on. The panel is ready to vote. Mr. Valerie, you've really improved since your last hearing in December of 2021. You've done a lot of things. As I told you at the very beginning, I don't think you've been honest with us today. The police report clearly indicates that you were the one that went into the bank. The judge gave you the more significant sentence rather than your co-defendant. The judge heard all of the evidence. And in your closing statement, you say, I wish I would have never participated in this crime. So I think your participation is a lot more than you're willing to concede that you did. And I think that you need to look inwardly to understand and to be honest with us the next time. I'm just one vote. My vote today is to deny. Mr. Roche.
Mr. Valerie, I sit here and I listen to your explanation of what happened, and then I listen to your statements at the end. I wish I wouldn't have participated. You got the significant sentence based on your lack of responsibility, based upon a good time date in the near future. My vote is to deny your request.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Ms. Wise?
I'm gonna take a chance on you, sir, but I'm just only one vote. My vote is to grant. You don't have victim opposition. You have 540 days of programming. You have positive family support. You have a low risk and low need. So my vote is to grant your parole today.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Valerie, you have 2 votes to deny, 1 vote to grant. Your parole has been denied. I would encourage you to look inwardly and be honest the next time you come before the board. Good luck to you, sir.
My goodness. My goodness. Yo. Whoa. Okay. Okay. What? Wow. So his co-defendant got less time than him. I didn't realize that. I did not realize that. Like, brother, why you just 26 years later, I'd have been like, yeah, I did it. I'd be like, yeah, I did it. Just let me get out, man. I don't know. I'm just making light of the situation, but it's not funny. This is an interesting one. Yeah, this was an interesting one. I hope you guys liked it. We're gonna go into another one. We are going to go into another one. Welcome to the Wabbit Crime Network. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. We are watching parole hearings today. We are watching parole hearings. We are interacting. We watch the hearing, and right before the judges vote on whether or not to grant parole, the audience will vote on what they feel the judges will vote. And we'll give 5 minutes for the audience to vote, and then we'll play to see what the judges said, to see what the judge's decision is. So here we are with our next case. Let's see how it goes.
The Committee on Parole is called back to order. The time is 9:11. Our next file is going to be Mr. Alvin Cooper. Mr. Cooper, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
Alvin Paul Cooper Jr., 536-158.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Let me explain our process to you. Do we have any visitors? Okay. Mr. Cooper, let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record. Then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. Then we'll ask the warden for any input that he might have regarding your case. Then you'll have an opportunity to address the board, make whatever statement you wish, then the board will vote. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Alvin Cooper Jr., DOC number 536-158. Mr. Cooper's date of birth is July the 2nd of 1957. He is a second-time felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of January the 7th of 2024, a full-term date of October the 7th of 2025. He does not earn good time. He is serving a 7-year sentence for carnal knowledge of a juvenile, having been sentenced on August the 27th of 2019 after having his probation violated. Is that fairly accurate, Mr. Cooper?
Yes, sir.
This yours?
Yes.
Your case has been assigned to Mr. Alvin Roche. He will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions he might have?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Cooper. How are you?
Good morning.
Good. Mr. Cooper, you're currently 66 years old, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And this crime started about 2013, is that correct?
I'm going to say approximately yes.
So you were 53 years old. Well, you were 56 years old.
Yes.
So between 56 years old and 59 years old, you molested a male juvenile around the age of 14 to 17. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So tell me why you're in jail today.
Because I committed a crime of calling the knowledge of a juvenile.
Well, you were found guilty and the judge suspended that sentence. I think you got an 8-year sentence and the judge suspended all of the sentence.
Yes, sir.
So tell me why you're in jail today.
Oh, I was out on probation and I failed to call the probation officer for about 6 weeks. I missed 1 month of calling the probation officer. And then they thought I had not registered, but I had registered in another parish. And they was bringing me in for that too, but they no processed that because I was registered in another parish and they didn't know it. And but they got me for not calling the probation officer for a month.
Okay. And where were you living? In what parish?
I had registered in Ponchatoula, but I had moved to Houma, and I was in the process of getting ready to register again because I had moved from Ponchatoula, and my phone got wet when I was working. No excuse, but
Okay, now how long did you live in Ponchatoula?
not long at all, about a week.
So basically, the week after your trial, and you went on probation, you moved to Houma.
Yeah. Well,
Why did it take you 4 months? Why did it take you 4 months to register?
I had registered in St. Charles Parish to start with, but I was moving to Ponchatoula, but that didn't work out for me.
So you were registered in St. Charles,
Yeah.
moved to Ponchatoula, and then moved to Terrebonne Parish.
Well, I hadn't moved yet. I was trying to find a place. I was working. I was living with a friend, and I was trying to get.
Okay, exactly who was living in that house with your friend?
He lived by himself.
There wasn't a juvenile that lived in the house?
Oh, no, sir.
My records indicate that you moved and willfully moved to a residence that you knew a child was residing in direct violation of your conditions of your parole.
No, sir. When I went to Ponchatoula, the probation officer came, and the child he was talking about lived next door. And so once the person that I was getting the trailer from found out, that they said the child was too close, and that's why I was leaving Ponchatoula and going to Houma.
Why didn't you tell me that at first?
Well, I wasn't sure exactly what you was wanting.
Okay. So tell me exactly what you did to be convicted of calling the knowledge of a juvenile.
I had sex with a young man that was 17 years old.
Actually, it started when it was 14.
That's what they said, and but I did not have no physical contact with him until he was 17.
Okay. And did you have an occasion where you asked him to invite his friends over to watch TV and play games?
He was my next door neighbor, and some of his friends were over by my house, yes, because of my son and my daughter. My daughter was his age, my youngest daughter.
Did your son and daughter live with you?
My youngest daughter did at that time.
Did you happen to request sexual favors from the friends when they came over?
No. This just happened between me and him.
But his testimony between two of his friends said that when they went over to play games and watch TV, they were propositioned by you with sexual favors, and then they left. because they didn't want any part of it.
I don't know nothing about that testimony.
Now, had you ever been convicted of anything that dealt with juveniles prior to this?
No,
You weren't convicted of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles, 3 counts in 2003,
I wasn't convicted.
but you were arrested
Yes,
and placed on a pretrial intervention program. Is that correct?
I don't think I did a pretrial intervention. I don't remember.
Docket number 68, 8556 on June 17, 2003. Offender was placed in a pretrial intervention program.
Well,
And the aggravated assault charges were dismissed and there's no record of it.
I don't know.
How about May of 2003, you were arrested for simple battery? And it was amended to disturbing the peace.
That was in 2003. That was probably my ex-wife. But
Okay.
I never was convicted.
How about the domestic abuse battery?
I don't know. When was that?
That was 2003 also.
Yeah, that was probably my second wife. When that all got thrown out, I never got convicted. That was my ex-wife.
And how about St. Charles Parish, where you got convicted of manufacturing, distributing, and possession of Schedule I ecstasy?
That was with my second wife. Actually, she had left me and I went to the house where she was by her dad. And my daughter was running around, my youngest daughter was running around naked. And my wife had drugs on her. I took the drugs from her and put them in my pocket. And the neighbor, somebody must have called the police. When they came, I had it in my pocket. I was in possession of her ecstasy. It wasn't mine.
And you got convicted.
Yeah.
How about 207, domestic abuse and criminal damage to property?
I don't remember that, but I know I didn't get convicted. I don't remember 2007.
2010, violation of a protective order.
That I don't remember, but I didn't.
And you pled guilty, and you were sentenced to 146 days in a parish jail.
I never spent, the only time I spent time in jail in the parish was when I got convicted on withholding them drugs from her, and the judge gave me 30 days of weekends. That's the only time I ever spent in jail.
Okay, so you have quite a criminal history, Mr. Cooper.
Yes, I only been convicted one time, and when I was in court for what I'm in for jail for now, the assistant district attorney brought that up, and the judge reminded her that I wasn't convicted on none of them charges.
Okay. I see a conviction in 2000. I see a conviction in 2002. I see a conviction in 2007. And let's see, conviction in 2010.
That's. I don't know, I was never convicted, except the one thing, so I don't know what you read.
When you plead guilty, Mr. Cooper, that's a conviction, okay?
Right,
You pled guilty to your offense in 2010. You pled guilty to your offense in 2007. You pled guilty to simple battery, was amended to disturbing the peace. And you pled guilty to simple battery in 2002.
I don't remember pleading guilty.
Okay, I'm just reading from you.
I understand.
Okay. So tell me about the programs that you've completed in the 5 years of incarceration.
I've completed anger management, cage of rage, living in balance 1 and 2, thinking for a change, BTG Madison County Risk Management Model 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm now tutoring. I've completed a vow. I've completed the 12-step program, AANA 12-step program, and I'm now doing the ongoing AANA. I completed serve safe, and I have a certificate. I completed IC3, which is computer class 1, 2, and 3, and I have a master's certificate in digital literacy. I completed a CDL preparation class. I completed a driver's license class. I have a job life skills certificate. I'm a member of the JCs, the Toastmasters. I have 100 hours of pre-release preparation. And that's it.
You've been busy.
Yes, sir. I've been real busy.
Great. Let me inform you that the entire legal community, and when I mean the entire legal community, the judge, the DA's office, the sheriff's office, is all opposed to your early release. Now, let's talk about your write-ups in 2020. Mr. Cooper, you had 7 disciplinary write-ups in the year 2020. Tell me why you had so much problem with your disciplinary conduct in 2020.
I had never been in prison before, and it was all new to me. I thought I only had 5 of them. But anyway, when I first got here, I wasn't aware of the rules, and I have to use a catheter, what you call an in and out catheter, and I got some write-ups for unsanitary practices because of that, and 3 of the write-ups were I take a lot of medicines for my bowel blockage, and one of the inmates didn't understand why I had to use the toilet so much.
Mr. Cooper,
yes,
I understand that that's medical reason, but explain why you had a defiance write-up in 2020.
I don't know what defiance that was, sir.
In January 2020, you had a defiance and aggravated disobedience. In February, you had a fight.
That was when I was sitting on the toilet. I did not fight, and they found me not guilty because the guy slapped me. He wanted to know why I was on the toilet so many times. And they found me not guilty because I did not fight back because I was.
So my records show that you found guilty and that you lost 2 weeks canteen and 2 weeks of phone privileges.
On that,
It was suspended.
yeah, on that same, that all happened in the same day because after this guy slapped me, they went to get my stuff to bring it to the hole, and they found some trash under my locker. This was all the same day. They gave me unsanitary practices. They found me with 2 mattresses, but I came from another dorm where the bed had a broken spring.
Mr. Cooper, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Okay, I understand that you had problems and you got written up for unsanitary practice. Explain why you got 2 disciplinary write-ups for theft of state property.
There should be only one, and it should be the mattress that I didn't steal. They gave me a mattress.
I had 1 in July and 1 in December of 2020.
Unless you can tell me what it was, I don't know what it was.
Can you give some insight to those write-ups?
Unless you can explain to me a little more, I should only have.
Mr. Cooper, I'm speaking to the warden right now.
Oh, okay. One day.
Yeah, I'm reading the one you're talking about, and looks like he was trying to make a emergency sick call, and him and the officer had an issue. And it says offender Cooper is receiving a violation of rule number 2 for intentionally lying to me about not being able to move or walk.
Now I understand.
What was it? Theft of warden?
That was, they wrote him up for theft for that.
Okay, okay.
And then the other theft was the 2 mattresses.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cooper, you have a very, very poor supervision record. You were given a chance. When you were convicted, and you didn't follow the rules and regulations, and you didn't register in the parish in which you lived. My records show that you were living with a juvenile. Your general disciplinary conduct is unacceptable. You have opposition from all branches of the legal community. You have a moderate needs assessment. And basically, I need to hear some comments from the warden before I make a decision. Warden, Dave?
Yes, sir. Looking back and talking with Mr. Cooper, I know that 2020, he did have a little bad run here. It looks like he did get on track and has taken many classes to help himself. The living plan that he and I talked about yesterday and his poor history of supervision, I'm a little bit concerned about that.
Thank you, Warden. Mr. Chairman?
Okay. Anything you'd like to say, Mr. Cooper, before the panel votes?
I haven't been rolled up in right at 4 years now. When I first got here, I had to learn because I've never been in prison before. These write-ups that I got, and now that I know what the warden has said, the first one, I have medical needs. I told the lieutenant that I couldn't walk, that I needed help, I needed a wheelchair. She thought I could walk. That's that write-up. The other write-up with the theft and the 2 mattresses, where I was, they had a broken spring in the bed. I had 2 mattresses. They moved me to another dorm. The 2 mattresses came with me. They wrote me up when the guy slapped me for having them 2 mattresses. All that put together, it's really like 1 write-up, 2 write-ups is what it really is, because they're together. I'm 66 and a half years old. Once I found out how things go here and learn the rules, I'm good. As far as all these people talking against me, that's the people who put me in here. I haven't heard anything from you about the victim or the victim's family. We were good friends, okay? We lived right next to each other. Bad things happen. I use bad judgment. I've been doing everything right for 4 years. I have 1,140 days of schooling, which I can't get, but I took them. I know right from wrong. I've done everything in my power to get out of here with 75% of this done. My original sentence wasn't but 3 years probation. Because I didn't call this probation officer for 1 month, they brought me in for 3 things. They brought me in for the failure to register, resisting arrest, and failure to call. And failure to call probation. They no process the failure to register once they found out that I registered, and they no process the resisting arrest. The only thing is the phone call. I had 3 months of probation and 1 phone call. And I'm in here for 7 years. This has ruined my life. I've been here almost 5 years now. I need to get out. I need to go to my family. I have a young daughter who's just started college, who needs my help financially. I have 5 children, 8 grandchildren, and I need to get out in the world as soon as possible. And I'm asking for y'all help in this matter, and I've done everything in my power in here. Like I said, I haven't been wrote up in 4 years. I had a couple of missteps right off the bat because I didn't know how the game's played in here, but I learned quickly. I stayed out of everybody's way for 4 years, going to church and doing the things I was supposed to be doing. And if y'all don't grant me this, I'm out of here in a year and 11 months and 2 weeks anyway. But I would like to get it started on a new chapter of my life. And be there for my family. That's about it.
Thank you.
Y'all ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Bruh. All right. Okay, I guess. Oh my goodness. This one is interesting. This guy has cardinal knowledge of a juvenile. That means that he messed with he had sex with somebody under the age of 18, between 14 and 17. With consent, however, it's illegal. It's against the law. So he was sentenced to 8 years, and that sentence was suspended. That sentence was suspended. He violated because he didn't register as a sex offender for 4 months. He was supposed to register immediately. I guess he didn't register in time. He took 4 months before he registered. And he didn't call his parole officer. So that's why he's back in jail. So they actually suspended his sentence. Keep that in mind. They suspended his sentence. He has a criminal history. It seems like he was accused of grooming. He definitely seemed like they said he was grooming the individual. It was a male 17-year-old that he was charged for the cardinal knowledge crime. So, however, he's done a lot of programs in the jail since he's been in there. He's been in there 5 years. He only has a year and probably almost 2 years left on his sentence. He's done so many programs. It sounded, I mean, he done a lot of programs, and in my opinion, they like that. I think the judges like the fact that you've taken these programs, and I think it's for political reasons. I think that these programs are funded, and if inmates take those programs and they see that it's making some kind of impact, maybe they will get more funding for that program. Hold on, let me put the poll in the chat so that everybody can vote. And let me start the timer. All right, the poll is in the chat. Get your votes in. Will the judges grant parole in this case? Get your votes in. The timer has started. This one was an interesting one. Very interesting one. Let me see something. Yeah, this one. Testing. Why am I hearing myself? Testing. All right, there I go. Completed a lot of the same, and it worked for the most part. Yeah, politically, when the judges hear that the inmate has been in jail and has been taking all the programs that the government has provided for rehabilitation, when they see that an inmate hasn't been idly sitting in jail. Let me lower this. When they see that an inmate has not been idly sitting in jail, and they actually been occupying their time and being productive, I think they take that into consideration a lot. They always ask, what programs have you been taking? And they always stress the importance of taking classes and taking those programs. And they always want to know, what have you learned from those programs? How has those programs changed you? Was those programs effective? And they always want feedback. And they ask them, do you think this program was a good program? And so I think that they really like when the inmates occupy their time with the productive things that they've provided. And this guy has provided a whole lot. He has taken a whole lot of those classes. He has definitely occupied his time, but I also see why. He has medical conditions and he wants to get out. So it seems like he gets picked on. As you heard, he said he got assaulted while he was on the toilet. That's definitely it's not a good experience to be in that position, and someone assaults you, you kind of defenseless for a second there. So I can imagine some of those things that he probably got in trouble for was him being having those medical conditions, and also the flip side to that is that he could possibly use the medical conditions as a crutch, and might not have an ailment that bad, but he exaggerates the ailment to try to get special treatment. And as the write-up says, he says he couldn't move, but they believe that he could move. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I see that he couldn't possibly get out. I mean, he's gonna get out anyway in about 2 years. And if the judges want to teach him a lesson, they can just say, you know what, you're gonna get out in a year and a half anyway, so you might as well just stay in there. They could say, you know what, you can just stay in there and just finish your time, because you don't got that long, So who knows? Or they could say, we let you out early. We'll see how this goes. But in any event, I want to see what the people has said, how the people has voted. It's 10 seconds left on the timer. It's 10 seconds left. 5. All right, and we're gonna end the poll. All right, so will the judges grant parole in this case? And we got 28 votes. 71% said no, they will not grant parole in this case, and 28% said yes. So we have a overwhelming majority saying that the judges will not grant parole in this case. So let's see how it goes. Let us see how it goes. Turn off this music and we'll get to it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Cooper, forgive me for not mentioning the victim. The victim in this case is unopposed to your release. He has sent a statement in, and he is unopposed to your release. Based upon a poor supervision performance, based on the legal community strongly opposing your release, a moderate needs assessment, in my opinion, you are a risk to the community at large. In the proximity of your good time date, I'm denying your request.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Ms. Wise?
Mr. Cooper, I've listened as well and read the reports. I concur with my colleague. My vote is to deny as well. The nature of the offense, the poor supervision history. For those reasons, I'm opposed as well.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wise. Mr. Cooper, a lot of the things that you've said today are accurate. You were on probation. You were not sentenced to prison. But as a sex offender, you are required to do certain things. And it appears to me that you have really minimized your violations. It wasn't just one phone call. There were a number of things, primarily the fact that there was a 12-year-old person there. You stipulated to your probation violations. That's why you're in prison. You're right. You're going to be getting out shortly, but you're still going to have to register. And you need to understand that registration is serious. And if you don't follow all of the registration rules, you will find yourself right back in prison again. So I would encourage you to get a better understanding of what is required of you once you get out and are required to register. You have 2 votes. My vote likewise would be to deny. So your parole today has been denied. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And there you have it. There you have it. Another one Another one down. Another one down. Wow. Wow. You guys were right. Overwhelmingly, a lot of you guys felt that this one was not gonna go well for this guy. I thought maybe because of the fact that he did all those programs, they might have considered it a little bit more, but they wasn't playing. It wasn't playing. So we're off to our next one. Off to our next one. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you are enjoying the show, please hit the like button. Share this live. Sub up. Subscribe to this channel. And join the Discord, Wabbit Crime Network Discord. We also have memberships on this channel. Join the Wabbit Crime Network membership for exclusive content. We're going to have a lot of premieres coming out on this channel. Members only chats for certain content. So please join the memberships or consider joining the memberships for content. The channel is just starting. It is an early channel, a small channel. It's still growing. We're still building an audience. But I'm glad to see that people are interested in the content. The stickers will be coming the next time I go live. I'm going to be making some adjustments. I will be going live more often on this channel. So definitely at least once a week, but I'm trying to make it twice a week. So look forward to content and a lot more perks, members perks. It's coming. It's coming.
The time is 9:47. Our next case is going to be.
All right. So if you're just coming in, please hit the like button. If you like the content, please subscribe. I'm going to tell you guys how this goes. We are going to watch a parole hearing, an inmate who is up for parole. We're going to hear the judges interview the inmate. We're going to find out about the crime, how long the inmate has been in jail, how long the sentence is. We're going to find out what the crime is. And after we hear the interview, the judges will vote on whether or not they will decide to grant parole to the inmate. Before the judges make their final decision, I will do a poll in the chat where the audience can do a vote on whether or not they think the judges will grant parole in this case. After 5 minutes, the poll will be up for 5 minutes. I will have a timer, and then I will shut down the poll and read the results, and then we will play the judges' verdict, their decision, and we will see if the audience was on the money. So this is the next case. If anybody wants to find out anything about these cases in more detail, you can click the link in the description. The names, docket number, the information that you would need about this case is in this video. They will say the name and the docket number. So if you want to find out any more information, you can just take the name and the docket number, go to that website, and check out the case or these cases or anything about these hearings in more detail.
Mr. Aaron Johnson. Mr. Johnson, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
Aaron Johnson, 123674.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record. Then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. Once we complete the interview, we'll request from the warden any comments or observations he may have. And anyone who wishes to speak on your behalf at that time will have an opportunity to say their piece. Currently here in headquarters here today is your cousin, Miss Desiree Jones, who will be speaking. Your sister, Miss Natalie Royal, who will be speaking. And your cousin, Miss Latoya Jones, who will be speaking. Also present but not speaking is your aunt, Miss Elaine Howell. At the end of that hearing, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the matter of Aaron Johnson, DOC number 123674. Date of birth, April the 26th of 1967. He's a second-time felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of August the 1st of 2021, an adjusted good time date of January 12th of 2030, full term date of January the 7th of 2031. He is currently serving a 33-year sentence on the charges of armed robbery and felon in possession of a firearm. He was sentenced on September the 9th of 1998. Mr. Johnson, does that information appear to be correct?
Yes, sir.
Your case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise, so she will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm nervous.
Okay, that's a fair statement. That's fair. All right. And that laughing a little bit, that helps you calm down. That's a good thing to do. Call out for the record, sir. How long you been in jail on this charge?
Almost 26 years.
Almost 26 years. And how old are you today?
56.
You're 56 years of age. Okay. Let me tell you right off now, usually I try to keep all my notes on one page. I got about 3 pages of notes on you. You've just done a lot in your life. Are you tired?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Okay. Yeah. But I did notice that you had multiple hospital stays from 1999 with your last one in July 23. How are you right now medically?
Yeah. I'm so, I've been suffering with my stomach bowel obstructions, and so I have to monitor what I eat and, exercise, drink a lot of water. But I'm making.
You're managing now.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you do? What do you do every day at the prison? I'm sorry.
I have my good days, bad days.
Yes, sir. So what do you do every day at the prison?
I work in the kitchen. I have a light to do the job, wiping tables.
Okay. Yeah, because like you said, that movement is important. You got to keep moving.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were denied, as we indicated on May 15 to 23, you were denied because of your DB record at the time, and it was suggested that you need more programs. So tell us what you've done since May 15 to 23 when you were denied your last hearing.
Okay, I completed 100 hours thinking for a change. I got CDL preparatory class up here, AANA step program, AVAR, freedom curriculum, authentic manhood, AANA ongoing program, and till walking training.
What's that now? What's the last thing?
Till walking training.
Oh yeah, I think I did see that. Okay, but you're not. Yeah, okay. So now let's talk.
Also, I'm a press inmate.
Yeah, I did see that. How long you been in press?
About 6 months, man.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of new. That's very good. 6 months, okay. Impressed. Let's talk about your. That's one of the things that stood out to me is your drug history. You had your first mental health evaluation at age 15. It was you said it was nerves and temper. Then you start drinking beer and gin at 13, marijuana at 15. This is self-reported. I'm just putting it on the record. And then and you said at age 19, you had a daily habit of marijuana. Then about 20, you started using crack cocaine.
Yes, ma'am.
But you did manage to obtain your GED somewhere in between that. You was arrested about 25 times before 1984. You had 5 misdemeanor, 2 felony convictions, and a very poor supervision history because of your continued drug use.
Yes,
So here we are 26 years later. You do have law enforcement opposition, some law enforcement opposition to your early release. Again, I'm just saying that for the record. Your victim is I wouldn't get any comments from your victim. I don't know if you know this, but she ended up losing her job.
yes, ma'am. I heard it.
You heard about that? Okay, yeah, because of a store policy. That was unfortunate. So tell us what are your plans? If you're successful today, what are your plans to stay clean and sober?
Well, I plan to surround myself around positive people, not go back to the areas that I, hung out in and did drugs, attend AA meetings and, also, church is an important part of my life. I want to, join a good church and be active in church and, try to, start a youth outreach program, just, basically stay busy doing positive things, take it one day at a time.
How often would you attend AA meeting?
Weekly, two, maybe 1 or 2 times a week. I attended AA meetings once before out there, in the world, I backslided.
Yes, indeed. Yes. You went through you wrote another letter making sure we got the manhood certificate. Tell me about 3 things you learned in the manhood program that you took. What did you learn in the manhood program? Tell me the top 3 things you learned, because that's the last class you completed, right?
Yeah.
That's the most recent class that you completed.
Yeah.
Authentic manhood.
Yeah, authentic manhood.
Yes, sir. I'm not saying it right. Tell me about 3 things that you learned. That's the most recent class you finished.
Yeah, but authentic manhood, it, taught me, how to be the man that God intended me to be. And, it's taught me, that, about being a real man. And it also taught me, I'm nervous. Y'all have this skills in place. But it was a good program. It was a good program. We supposed to have a graduation on the 30th. The whole curriculum is kingdom manhood.
Mm-hmm. The graduation on the 30th. So the class are still going on?
Well, I completed that part of the class, authentic manhood.
Oh, okay.
Whole curriculum.
Now, do you think that you need to try to go to a substance abuse treatment program before you leave? What do you think? Or do you think you got it?
Anything that'll help, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, right? Anything that'll help.
But you stay in the regular dorm right now? Are you in the regular population?
Yes, ma'am.
When I look at your history of supervision, I don't see where you've ever had any kind of long-term substance abuse treatment. Is that correct?
I think it's substance abuse. Let me see what year was that. That was in the 90s.
So you were at LSP, you was at LSP in the 90s. In 98.
Yes, ma'am.
You took what there?
I got living in balance at LSP.
Okay.
Living in balance. I thought you was talking about on the street.
Well, I was talking about both of them, really. I was talking about it. I was talking about both of them. But I see what you did always attend. You always attended AA meetings. But for some reason, the needs assessments show you as high. You're high in substance abuse. You're high in antisocial thinking. And that's what's concerning. But you do have a low risk. Your needs assessments show that you need substance abuse treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what it showed. That's one of the main places I got that from. Let's talk about your write-ups now. When was your last write-up?
Last write-up was 2020, November 14, 2020. It was a 30W.
And what? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I saw that. You've had 61 write-ups in these 26 years. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So tell us what are your plans? If you're successful today, where would you live and how do you plan on supporting yourself?
Okay, my cousin, he got a body and fender shop, so he said he would give me a job. So I plan to work with him until I can get something better. And my sister and my niece, they live in Brownville, and I'm gonna go stay with her until I can get my own place. She worked for the Department of Correction.
So it ain't gonna be no hanky panky in her house, is it?
No, ma'am. I told her.
I'm just saying what's obvious. Okay.
Like I told her, I was, gonna do what I could to help her around the house and stuff like that, And, she said she ain't gonna charge me no rent or nothing like that, so I can save money to get my own place.
That's good. Yeah. All right. I forgot about this other write-up. Is here the RBR that was expunged on 5/2/23? What was that about?
That was a low court write-up. I woke up in the middle of the night one night and walked across the aisle and asked my bed partner for two slices of bread. And when came back to my bed, fixed me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and went back to sleep. And they woke me up 2 hours later, gave me a write-up, said I was visiting in another bed area. I went to court, they found me not guilty. 3 days later, I get a copy of the write-up where the verdict had been changed. So I wrote Warden Beckham about it, and he had me expunge it.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just curious what that was about, but that was a good outcome of that. Okay.
It was a low court, Schedule A write-up.
Okay. All right. Thanks for letting me know. So you think you're gonna be able to follow the rules of your sister's house, and you're gonna be able to follow the rules of probation and parole this time?
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely.
That's what I needed to hear. That's all I had. Thank you for answering my question. You knew stuff pretty good and started answering the questions. I appreciate that. Well, all we're doing is talking about you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Warden, what can you tell us about this young man?
Aaron's he hasn't been here very long. I can say since he's been here, he has taken the classes, since his last parole hearing. Looking back through his history of write-ups, it's pretty significant. And he and I talked about some of the write-ups and different things that he did within them. And my big question to him was what changed and why did it change? And basically, he told me that he was tired of living that life. We talked about his support system getting out of here and how it would be important to him if granted this. With his duty status and medical history, it would be easy for him to lay up on the dormitory and not work. But being in the kitchen and wiping tables and doing something is promising. He does have a plan on when he gets out of here. So I don't know him other than seeing him in the kitchen, which is a good thing. And, you know, he hasn't been here that long, but looking at where he's at now as to where he would be, I think he has a good chance.
Warden, do you think he will be accepted at a substance abuse treatment program based on his health concerns, or they would just kick it back? What are your
No,
thoughts?
I think he would be. I mean, although he does have some, they're not very, I don't mean this in a bad way, they're not very significant. So I think that as long as he don't have a problem and don't have an obstruction or anything like that, I think he would be okay.
Okay, thank you, Warden. Thank you. That's all I had, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Rocha?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Johnson, you've done very well since your last hearing. You've done everything that panel told you to do. But I have one question.
Yes, sir.
As you sit here today, are you a drug addict?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna be a drug addict all my life. But the thing is, you know, just taking it one day at a time. And, you know,
Thank you, sir.
staying away from it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now we'll hear from your supporters. Ms. Desiree Jones. Ms. Jones, if you'll walk up to that podium, please, introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your cousin.
Yes, good morning. My name is Desiree Jones. I am Aaron's cousin. I stand before you today to advocate for the release of Aaron Johnson, who has shown remarkable progress and transformation during incarceration. I believe that Aaron deserves a chance to reintegrate into society as a productive and law-abiding citizen. The purpose of parole is not only to punish, but also to rehabilitate, and Aaron has exemplified his commitment to that process. Aaron has served 26 years of his sentence and has utilized this time to reflect on his actions and make some significant changes in his life. His journey towards rehabilitation has been characterized by him participating in educational programs and vocational training. This demonstrates a genuine desire to better himself and to become a positive member of society. Aaron has a strong support system in place, including family, friends, and employment opportunities and counseling communities. This network will help ensure his successful integration into society and reduce the risk of reoffending. It is important to recognize that our justice system, while focused on punishment, also values rehabilitation and the potential for positive change. The successful reintegration of individuals into society benefits not only the individual, but also the community. Aaron has demonstrated through his actions and commitment that he has made the necessary changes to break the cycle of criminal behavior. I firmly believe that Aaron is deserving of a second chance, and I urge the parole board to consider the progress that he has made. Granting parole to Aaron would not only give him an opportunity for a fresh start, but to also serve as a testament of the criminal justice system's commitment to rehabilitation and reintegration. I also want to mention, I know he also stated that when he gets out, he'll also get his cousin's shop. We also, me and my husband, we have a sneaker market that's also open for him, so he can work part-time there as well. Me and my sister-in-law, we have a counseling agency, so we want to also make sure that he enters into that program as well, so we can help him along the way. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Ms. Natalie Royal.
In the Department of Correction over 14 years. I just want I have some pictures and stuff of pictures that I took with inmates. I have the certificate that I have where I didn't even Malachi dads for celebrating recovery. I've been to all these programs. So him coming home for me, it's me and my wife with a certificate. I think I would be the best person in the support system for him to come home to. And like you said, I didn't already lay down the rules and everything that's coming home, but I have also seen in the years, the 26 years, it has changed. I mean, a lot. So I'm just hoping that y'all will grant him his parole so he can come home and spend some time with his family. But we just found out that my dad has cancer. So I'm wishing and praying he can come home and help me in the process of, getting my dad, even with him, with his doctor, support him on, his medical issues too. Kind of take that out to stay with y'all, and I can support him financially, and I'll be just praying and hoping that y'all do make it today. And I thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Latoya Jones?
Morning. I'm Aaron's cousin. My cousin Aaron has a strong support system in his family, and we have taken every possible step to gather support to aid in his release from prison. Since all of his conditions have been now met to qualify for a parole grant that we know of, I ask respectfully that you grant his parole. Aaron has now served 26 years for armed robbery where no one was hurt physically. He has served more than the adequate time for his crimes. Therefore, it is time for him to be restored back to his family and community. This will allow him to be able to work, pay taxes, feed his grandkids, and support his family as well as his family supporting him. And I thank you in advance for this opportunity that is allowed and granted.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Johnson, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before the board votes?
Yes, sir. I would like to thank you all for granting me this opportunity. I would like to thank Warden Dave and the staff for granting me the opportunity to participate in the programs I participated in and help me change. And I would like to apologize, offer my sincere apology to the victims of my crime, Ms. Julie White, my family, my kids, my grandkids, my community, and that's it, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments, Mr. Johnson. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, I am.
The panel is ready to vote. Yes, they are. Thank you, everybody that's participating in the polls. Will the judge grant parole in this case? Timer has started. The vote is in the chat. The poll is in the chat. Please get your votes in. This guy is in jail for armed robbery and I guess having a firearm, and he's been in there for 26 years. He's had 61 write-ups in those 26 years. He does have a good support system, as you can see. He has family that's willing to support him. He's took some programs. He has a drug problem, yes. And it's interesting. I'm not sure how this will go. I'm not sure how this will go. I don't know if he's gonna get to go home or if they're gonna allow him or they're gonna make him stay for the rest of his sentence. Maybe they won't. They won't. Guys, get y'all votes in. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We got 3 minutes left to vote. This wasn't bank robbery. This was armed robbery. He has some medical conditions. So, yeah, uh, I'm thinking it can go either way. I'm thinking it can go either way. The support system and medical issues are important. They are important. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. You got 2 minutes left to vote. I don't know. If I have to vote, I'll say because of the family that came up and speak, I would say yes, they will let him go. Considering that he'd done all that time, and you know, I think they would let him go. But what one of his family members said, the last person that came up was kind of like questionable. I don't know if that could sway the judges to feel insulted or something. Because she said that, they gave him way more time than anybody else, than he should have gotten. And, it's kind of like she was kind of questioning the judicial system or kind of chastising the judicial system and their decisions. And I feel like that might not be the time and place to do that. I felt like that might not be the time and place to kind of question the judicial system, because that kind of implies that the judges, which is part of the judicial system, might be unfair as well. So I would be careful to not offend. We got 30 seconds left to vote. I'd be careful to not offend, especially when you're speaking on someone else's behalf, trying to get something. I would hate for maybe something that you said to be what swayed them to make the vote in not in his favor. So I would hate for that to be the case. We got 10 seconds left to vote. 10 seconds left to vote. 4, 1, and the poll is closed. Will the judges grant parole in this case? We got 26 votes, and 84% of the people said yes, they will grant parole in this case. 15% said no. So we got the majority of the voters says that they believe that the judges will grant parole in this case. So let's see how it goes. The votes are in, and let's see how it goes.
Wise?
I'll tell you what, Mr. Johnson, everything I wrote down based on what your family said, you don't need, because they already got it lined out for you.
Yes,
and don't get beside yourself about being told what to do for 26 years. Heads up, when you get out around these ladies, you're going to be told what to do. Just saying what I'm saying. And you got to be able to say, okay, don't be talking about it. But it's all good stuff, and it's stuff to keep you out. So my vote is to grant today, based on the warden's comments, the family support, and your overall, positive institutional performance over these last few years. I only have 2 special conditions: that you attend AA meetings 3 times a week, and you do that community service about 6 months after release. Start doing that community service of at least 4 hours a month, what you had stated that you're going to do, because that's needful, because you can relate to them, because you were 15 when you started this path. But best wishes to you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Mr. Roche?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes, sir.
you served probably almost 75, 80% of your sentence.
Yes, sir.
You followed the directions of the panel after your last parole hearing. They took the appropriate programs and you stayed right up free since your last hearing.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm going to grant your early release, but upon completion of either the Steve Paul Intensive Substance Abuse Program or any other DOC approved substance abuse program. I'm leaving it up to the DOC. You decide which program you're going to go to. But I think you need some additional help with your substance abuse. So basically, I want you to get the treatment before you release.
Yes,
After
sir.
release, and the reasons why I'm voting. Positive remarks for one day, which is very important to me, and good family support. I see the support that you're going to have. Just take advantage of that support.
Yes, sir.
My conditions are that you have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and AA meetings 3 times a week, random drug screens, and to follow all recommendations of the substance abuse program. Good luck.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
Mr. Johnson, I've listened very intently to your family here. You've got some tremendous support. You've done a lot of good things while you've been in prison. I've listened to the warden's comments. My vote likewise would be to grant, conditioned upon your, my vote would be to grant with the following conditions once you are released, and that is 3 AA meetings per week, 4 hours of community service work after you've been out for about 90 days, a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and random drug screens. That would be
And undergo a substance abuse evaluation.
and undergo a substance abuse evaluation as well, and follow all of their recommendations in addition to the ones we've given. So we have 3 votes to grant. Your parole has been granted today, so good luck to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that was interesting. That was interesting. Once again, the audience was right on the money. You guys saw it coming. That was great judgment. We got 2 more left on the docket. We got 2 more left today, and then I'll let everyone go about their day. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. This is the Wabbit Crime Network. If you'd like to support the page, we got the Wabbit Crime PayPal at Wabbit Crime Network at PayPal. We got the Wabbit Crime Cash App. Got the anonymous donation link. We got the super chats, and we have memberships. We also have memberships. Look out for the exclusive WebTube content, premieres, and members only content. Also, members only chat for certain content. There will be much more content coming on this page. I'll be putting out stuff on this page much more often, much more frequently, and I can't speak properly. But the production will get much better as time goes on, as I find new ways to make new innovations and upgrade certain things. So we got another case on the docket. We got another one. We have another one. All right. So, and please hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. And share this live. Share this live. Share this live. If you have a community wall, share this live. Tell your friends. Tell your friends about this content. The way this goes, we're going to watch a parole hearing. Inmate is up for parole. They are going to speak to a panel of judges and get interviewed. And the judges will then vote on whether or not they will grant parole. 1 second. The judges will vote on whether or not they will grant parole. And before the judges make their vote, right before the judges make their vote, I will pause the video and I will put a poll in the chat where the audience gets to vote on whether or not they feel the judges will vote to grant or deny parole. The poll will be in the chat for 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes is over, I will end the poll, read the results of the audience, and then we will play the results of the judges to see if the audience was right and if the audience was on the money. If anyone wants to find out any information on this case, any further information on these cases, the link is in the description for the parole board, and you will get the name, docket number, and information you would need from these cases in the video. It will state the name and the docket number, and you can click the link in the description to find out any further information on these inmates or their cases or anything on the parole board. We're also we're going to find out what the inmate has been locked up for, how long they've been locked up, and we're going to get some details in the case, and we're going to go from there. So I'll be in the chat. We'll be observing it and commenting together. The chat is on the screen, so people who are watching can see the discussion that's going on, and then I'll be back after the presentation.
Committee on Parole is called back to order. The time is 10:24. Our next case is Mr. Willie Scott. Mr. Scott, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
Willie Scott, 1082-94.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record. Then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. We'll also ask the warden for any input he might have regarding you. And then at the end of the interview, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then the board will vote. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Willie Scott, DOC number 108294, date of birth August the 4th of 1966. Mr. Scott is a second-time felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of August the 4th of 2011. An adjusted good time date of April the 28th of 2060. He has a full-term date of October the 15th of 2135. He is currently serving a 153-year sentence on the counts of 2 armed robberies, forcible rape, and attempted simple escape. Having been sentenced on the armed robberies on November the 12th of 1984, March the 28th of 1985, forcible rape on July 17th of 1985, and the simple escape on July 17th of 1985. Mr. Scott, is this information fairly accurate?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, your case has been assigned to Mr. Alvin Roche. He will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions he might have?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Scott. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Here, Mrs. Scott, I'm gonna place some information into the record first, and then we're gonna have a conversation, okay? Mrs. Scott, you're currently 57 years old, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have 153-year sentence, and you served 39 years of that sentence, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were convicted of 12 counts of armed robbery. You had 12 years each count to run concurrently with each other. Then one count of armed robbery, you got 99 years to run consecutive with the other armed robberies. Forcible rape, 40 years to run consecutive with the 12 and 99 year. And you had an aggravated escape, which you got 2 years, which was also consecutive, which adds up to 153 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been incarcerated since August of 1984. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were 17 years old at the time you committed all the offenses except the escape, and you were 18. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what kind of programs have you completed in the 40 years of incarceration?
I completed all my re-entry program as far as personal development, problem solving, decision making, anger management, victim wellness.
Sir, all that's pre-release, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what else have you completed except pre-release? Okay, you finished the old version. I'm going to help you, Mr. Scott, because you pointed out if you took these programs, you should know. So basically, you finished the old version of sex offender treatment in 1999 and 2000. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You did that at Louisiana State Penitentiary, right?
Yeah, I've completed a lot of them at the Louisiana State Penitentiary. I went to taking up coasting and Elaine Hunts as Cajun raising and stuff, but they lost a lot of my certificates by me being transferred from Louisiana State.
And the DOC could not verify that you completed those. Am I correct?
They can verify they dig off in the records, but I don't have the certificate saying that I completed them, but I went to them classes.
But 2 days after you arrived at Rayburn, and and they offered you to take sex offender treatment again. Is that correct?
Not to my awareness, I can't recall, you know.
You arrived at Rayburn on November 21st, 2022. Is that correct? Mrs. Scott, I'm talking to you. You arrived at Rayburn in November of 2022. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And 2 days after you arrived, on November 23rd, 2022, an official of Rayburn offered to enroll you in a sex offender treatment, and you refused. Why?
I can't recall me refusing no class that they offered me to get into.
One day, can you shine some light on that for me, please?
I'm looking for that. I don't see that, Mr. Roche. I do see, since he has been here, he was backlogged for living in balance, and he's actively participating in Cajun Rage.
Okay. Check his latest annual progress report.
Okay.
Both of those are in red. He refused. Yeah. And I'm trying to locate that too, but it's in his its own page where you don't, you have the PPI one.
No, we don't have it.
Okay. On August 16, 2023, a annual progress report was done, and under programs, he was removed from anger management on March 23rd, 2023. He refused the sex offender treatment in November of 2022, and he's backlogged for living imbalance in November of 2022. I want to know why he refused sex offender treatment in November of 2022. It is in two places, and you have another summary of all of his programs, and it's also states that he refused sex offender treatment.
Yeah, I have it circled here, but I don't know. We just found it in some of the paperwork. I'm not sure why, but it is circled here in two spots. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Right.
So it said that he's already completed his reviews.
He said he completed it already, which.
Okay. So basically, he didn't take it here because he told the social worker that he had already completed the course.
And he took the old version of sex offender treatment that only had 2 phases. And if it wouldn't have been offered to him, I would suggest that he takes the new version because it's a much different version. And it's been 24 years since he took the sex offender treatment, and he needs to refresh the information that's in the program. Okay, so let's continue. Tell me, what's your current job and what do you do on a daily basis?
I'm a cook.
And how long have you been in the kitchen?
I've been cooking in the kitchen since I've been in Louisiana State Penitentiary. Then they shipped me to Elaine Hunts in 2014. I was the head cook there. Then I just shipped me here and I'm cooking here.
Okay, so you've been cooking for over 20, 30 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. We're going to talk about your disciplinary a little bit later. So tell me what your transition plan would be if and when you would be released.
Well, I was trying to, I lost a lot of my parents and stuff, because my grandmother, my grandfather one raised me. My mother and my father, I really don't know them. I know my daddy passed away, my mother, she stayed in Chicago. But outside of that, my plan is, if I can make parole, I want to try to get out and get me a job, get me a place to stay, because they got a little thing they got set up in the free world that they help dudes that just get out of prison, they got nowhere to stay. They help them, find a job and stuff.
Mr. Scott, there's only one problem. When you parole out, you have to have a place already lined up. That place needs to be examined and approved by probation and parole, and you need some semblance of a opportunity for employment. You have neither. You have no place to stay, and you have no idea what type of work you're gonna be doing.
I talked to her, the clarification here, and she was trying to get me certified in Chicago where my mother stayed at.
Okay.
I don't know how that turned out because she said she don't know they'll let me go there from Louisiana to the Chicago.
If your mother lives there,
Yes, sir.
I don't think there should be a problem.
That's where she stayed in Chicago, Illinois.
So what you're saying is you'd like to go to live with your mother in Illinois.
Yes, sir.
If you started the interstate compact.
That what she was telling me about. She don't know they would do it, you know. She don't know if the parole board would let me go to that. She never did notify me and get back with me on that.
You need to initiate that process and have it approved and let us approve that so you can move to Illinois.
Because at the time when I was trying to get all that did, they had set the board back on me. And that was in June. They made the second time they had set me back on the board.
I think there was bad weather that day and the internet went down. But I remember because I was on the panel. Now, tell me about your drug addiction and abuse of alcohol. Have you ever used drugs?
Yes, sir. I used drugs at the time. I was 17 to 16 years old. I was smoking marijuana. I was drinking beer. And at the time, I was staying with my grandparents them because my mother and my father them, they was street people, you know. So my grandfather.
What kind of drugs did you use?
I was smoking marijuana and drinking beer.
Anything stronger than marijuana? Anything stronger than marijuana?
No, sir.
Did you use alcohol?
A couple of beers, you know, every day. That was about it. I wasn't getting real drunk or nothing like that.
What type of help have you received over the 39 years dealing with your drug and alcohol issues?
I went to AA and NA anonymous drug holder classes.
Have you completed anything like living? Actually, you're on backlog for living in balance right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about your disciplinary issues. You've been incarcerated for 39 years, and you're still getting write-ups. In 2020, you had a write-up for intoxication and aggravated disobedience. So tell me what happened.
That intoxication, I was sick. I had the pneumonia, and they thought I was on drugs, but I wasn't on drugs. I was sick. I had been in the bed for like 2-3 weeks.
So they imposed 12 weeks telephone, 12 weeks lost canteen because you had the flu.
And they thought I was intoxicated, but I wasn't intoxicated.
2021, you had a contraband write-up.
Yeah, that because there wasn't no contraband write-up. Mental health put me on in isolation due to the fact that my sister had got whooped half to death from my husband. She was staying in Alabama at the time. And so they felt I needed some time.
They gave you a contraband write-up because you had a bout with mental illness. Is that correct?
That what they locked me up for, said because of mental health. But you look at the report, you can see that I ain't never did get no sentencing on that. They did.
One day, do you have a copy of that write-up?
What was the date of that write-up, Mr. O'Shea?
August 15th, 2021. It went to disciplinary court on August 17th, 2021.
Offender Willie Scott was on his bed. Another offender came with a lighted smoke substance. Both offenders took turns smoking and then went to offender Estave's bed to finish smoking.
Okay. So it wasn't what you said it was, okay? Let me inform you that the victim's family is adamantly opposed to your early release. We have 8 impact statements from various members of your victim's family saying they are adamantly opposed based upon the impact this crime had on their relative, and probably the impact from this crime resulted in an ultimate death. So tell me exactly why you're incarcerated, Mr. Scott. Tell me what you did.
They said I did armed robbery. About 6-7 months after the robbery was committed, I was arrested for armed robbery.
So tell me about the robbery.
Me and two other individuals.
Scott, Mr. Scott, I don't need any extra verbiage. Tell me about the robbery at 3 o'clock in the morning when a couple was coming from a party and you accosted them on the front porch and shoved both of them into the house, and tell me what happened on that occasion.
On that occasion, I never did enter the house, but that's what I'm convicted for, and I've accept full responsibility of the other charge.
You didn't go in the house and tie up the husband, rob him of jewelry, $1,200 of cash, and then took the wife into a bedroom, and you took turns, the 3 of you, and raped the victim over a period of hours, and then you left in the victim's car. That didn't happen.
Yes, sir, that happened. That's what I'm convicted for. That's what I've been in prison for all these years, yes.
Why did you feel necessary to rob the couple and then gang rape the wife?
In that situation, like I just said earlier, I was 17 years old. The 2 people with me were way older than me. I never entered the house. I never went in the house. Yes, I'm committing and admitting to it that I'm fully aware of the charge and fully aware of the crime. And I'm sorry for the victim. That's where I'm sorry for my people. I've never been in no trouble as a juvenile. You dig back in further in your paperwork and in my files, you'll see that. The 2 people with me, they're way older than me. They've been in prison, and they've been in juvenile detentions and everything. I was there at the wrong place and at the wrong time.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. I want to answer the record that Mr. Scott has a very high needs assessment, employment, education, substance abuse, and anti-social thinking. Mrs. Scott, Static 99 is a +4. In 8 years serving on this committee on parole, I've never seen an offender with a +4 Static 99, which tells me that he has a high risk, medium to high risk of reoffending as far as a sexual offense is concerned. And that's very concerning to me, Mrs. Scott. One day, would you like to make any comments or observations?
Willie's only been here since 2022. His time here, he has contributed and been a good employee or good worker rather in the kitchen, and disciplinary wise here, he's been okay. Other than that, that's about all I can say.
Thank you, Juan Day. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much,
I
Ms.
have
Rickett.
one question.
Ms. Wise.
The records show that there's a detainer from the sheriff's office. Y'all have any information on that? Mrs. Scott, do you know anything about that? A detainer from the sheriff's office?
No, sir. No, ma'am.
Okay.
I believe it's a consecutive 6-month sentence with Orleans Parish.
Oh, for the escape charge?
To run consecutive 1467.
That's for the escape charge? Okay, that's what it is.
It's not for escape, it's 1467. I think that's some kind of like theft or something like that.
What parish? What parish are you showing?
Orleans Parish.
Okay, okay. Oh, so you didn't know, Mrs. Scott, you have another 6 months detainer on you.
You were convicted of it, but they ran your 6 months parish prison time to run consecutive, so you have to do it after your DOC time, whenever you get out, no matter what. So he's already been convicted of it.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That clears that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Scott, is there anything you'd like to say before the board votes?
I'm sorry for what I did and the crime that I committed. I feel deeply sorry for the victim. I feel sorry for my people. I feel like at the time, like I say, I was 17 years old. I'm 57 years old now. I'm way more mature. I know right from wrong, serious, dealing with wrong and doing this, what's right and what's wrong. But I was wrong at the time I did that. I was 17 years old. That's about all I can say.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Scott. We appreciate your comments. Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
All right, the panel is ready to vote. The panel is ready to vote. Let me get the poll in the chat and start the timer. The timer has started. The poll is in the chat. Will the judge grant parole in this case? Detectives, Wabbit detectives. Wabbit detectives, get your magnifying glasses out and let's see where, if this guy's gonna get granted or denied parole. He has no stable support system. Sounds like he doesn't have any real support system. He's just crime. His crime definitely deserves the time. The time that they the conviction and the time that they give him is definitely fits the crime in my opinion. Has he been rehabilitated after all these years? That's the question. That is the question. And in my opinion, his answers doesn't seem like it's sufficient enough to allow him to be granted parole. Doesn't sound like it. Does not sound like it. Yeah, I'm starting to look at this one like it looks like overwhelmingly they might not give this man parole. It seems that way. It seems that way. Definitely seems that way. I don't know how the judges will vote for him, but I have a strong feeling that they will definitely send this man back into prison. He has another sentence he has to fulfill after the sentence that he has. So I'm not sure how that works if he does get parole. I'm not sure how that works. I'm thinking maybe if he gets parole, then they'll make him stay in there a little while longer for the other charge, for the other sentence, and then after that, let him out. I'm not sure how that would work. I'm not sure how that would work. That's my best guess on how they would work that out. This one seems pretty cut and dry. His crimes was egregious. And it doesn't seem like there's much accountability there. As you heard, he said he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. When the judge described the details of the crime, which I was like, my goodness. My goodness. Ooh. And he's saying that, like, I don't know why, like, bro, did you actually do that to that man's wife? Did you participate in that? Like, I don't know if there's any coming back from that, sir. You know, and if they are even considering it, I think there should be a lot more accountability on your part, because even when they asked him about the crime, he said, they said I did. And I'm like, I'm not sure if they said I did is the right thing to say at this moment, sir. You've already been found guilty. You've done all these years. And this is your time to get out. Unless you're planning on doing the rest of your time, at this point, you have to own up to what you've been convicted of, unless you really didn't do it. But I don't know. Then you might need to try to get a retrial or something. We got 12 seconds left to vote, 10 seconds, and then I will be ending the poll. 5 seconds. And the poll is ended. All right, this one is a unanimous decision. Will the judge grant parole in this case? We got 23 votes, and 100% said no. He will not be granted parole. 100% of the voters said he will not be granted parole. Wow. Wow. So, everyone seems to be on the same page on this one. Let's see. Judges?
Mr. Scott, based upon a disciplinary conduct that's unacceptable, based on adamant opposition from the victim's family, law enforcement opposition, a static 9-9 of +4, and basically a very high needs assessment. You need additional programs. My vote is to deny your request.
Thank you, Mr. O'Shea. Ms. Wise.
Mr. Scott, your offense is very disturbing, and the long-term impact on the victim is very disturbing. But like you said, you were 17, you can't go back, we can't go back, we're here today. For me, my vote is deny as well because of the nature of the offense and the impact of the crime on the victims and their family. But I urge you to reapply after you've completed all phases of the substance abuse of the sex offender treatment program, and go ahead and make that application out of state to and see if you have a better plan in place. if you are released. Best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wise. Mr. Scott, you have 2 votes to deny. My vote likewise would be the same. You've been encouraged to take the sex offender treatment program and to get a better plan for your transition. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck to you, sir. Wow. That was interesting. That was interesting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not sure if this guy might ever get out. It doesn't seem like he has any support system. It seems like his people are done with him after a crime like this. It seems like his people don't want any part of what he got going on. So we're gonna get to the next one. Hold on. I thought we had one more, but we got 2 more. Not. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. Sub up to the Wabbit Crime Network if you have not already. Share this page. Tell your friends. Wabbit Crime Network. We got crime content. There's going to be a lot more content coming to this page more frequently. We have memberships. And if you'd like to support this page, you can hit the PayPal at Wabbit Crime Network at PayPal or the Cash App at Wabbit Crime Network at Cash App. Cash App, Wabbit Crime Network. We also have the anonymous donation link where your name will be scrolling across the screen at the top for any donations. We are off to our next case. In this case, as the others, we will hear the inmate who is up for parole. We will see whether or not they will get granted parole. The inmate will go in front of a panel of judges. The judges will interview the inmate. After the interview, the judges will make their decision. They will vote and decide whether or not the inmate will be granted parole. Before the judge makes their decision, right before they make this decision, I will stop the video, pause the video, and I will put a poll in the chat where the audience will vote on whether or not they think this inmate will be granted parole. We will hear the nature of the crime, how long the inmate has been in jail, how long was the sentence, and we will get those information from the video. There's also a link in the description of this live stream if you want to get any more information about the parole board and these parole hearings or the inmates themselves. The video will provide the name and docket number of the inmates, and you can hit the link in the description to check out any further information on these inmates or these cases or just the parole board in general. And with that being said, I will be in the chat interacting with everyone, and then we will be back, and then I'll be back on the panel when the judges are ready to read the verdict. So thank you everyone for your participation, and let's go with another case. Also, we have the Wabbit Crime Network Discord. Free to join. It's free to join. I'm still adding things to it. It's a brand new Discord. There will be a lot of things coming to the Discord, especially for members of this page. So if you're a member of this page, I suggest you join the Discord. There will be a lot of perks interconnected with the Discord and the memberships. So thank you. And let's go.
Committee on Parole is called back to order. The time is 10:55. Our next case is going to be Mr. Sean Vezinet. Do we have, Mr. Vezinet, have any?
No, we doesn't.
Mr. Vezinet, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
Sean Calvin Vezinet, 740-726.
Mr. Vezinet, let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, then we're going to ask the warden to give us some information about you. We'll conduct a parole interview with you. At the end of that interview, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. You understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, this is Sean Vezinet, DOC number 740-726, date of birth September the 26th of 1984, third felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of May 23rd of 2024, an adjusted good time date of October 15th, 2024, and a full term date of December the 4th of 2032. He is currently serving a 12-year sentence on the charges of theft of a motor vehicle, simple burglary, contraband, theft over $500, simple burglary, and simple escape. Does that sound pretty accurate, Mr. Vezinet?
Yes, sir, it is completely.
Your case has been assigned to me, so I'll begin our interview process with you. Mr. Vezinet, how old are you, sir?
I'm 39 years old.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
Since 2021, the beginning of 2021.
Okay, so what is that, 2.5 years?
Yes, sir.
Tell me why you're in prison now.
Well, I've been addicted to drugs since I was 17 years old. I've always had a problem with it. And with me being on drugs, I never wanted to work, so I used steal things to pay for my drug habit. And that's predominantly the main reason why I caught these charges was over drugs.
So when did you start using drugs?
When I was 17 years old, after I dropped out of school.
And what sort of drugs were you using?
Well, I started off using marijuana, then I moved up to using prescription pills, then it went to cocaine, then to crystal meth, and then on to heroin, pretty much anything I get my hands on.
Have you ever had treatment for any sort of long-term treatment for your drug addiction?
No, sir, I haven't.
How often were you using drugs? Every day?
Daily, yes, sir.
What programs have you taken while you've been in prison to help you with your drug addiction?
I've taken AA, NA 12-step, living in balance, and pre-release.
Now, those are educational courses. What have you learned?
Well, I learned that I'm always going to be an addict for the rest of my life. I'm always going to struggle with it. I have to do things to put myself out of the predicaments that I put myself into. I have to keep myself busy, stay working, stay away from all my friends, all the people I used to hang out with. I got to really separate my life from everyone that I had anything to do with before.
When did you last use drugs?
Probably say when I was in work release. That's
When
the
was
last time I used. That was in June or July of last year or a year before last.
All right. Well, let's talk about your escape. You were in work release and you walked away. Were you using drugs then?
Yes, sir, I was.
So what have you done since then? What programs have you taken since then? You've taken Living in Balance in 2023, 100 hours of pre-release in your AA.
Yes, sir. I've also taken.
How are you going to stay sober if you get out?
Well, I need to definitely enroll in some AA and A programs when I get out, some counseling, stay busy with a job, be with my family, my son. I have a lot of things I could do to stay off drugs. I just got to do it.
You have a very high needs for substance abuse and antisocial thinking. You are a moderate risk, and I'm sure it's because of your drug use. Don't you think you need some long-term substance abuse treatment, inpatient sort of treatment?
I completely agree with you, which I've never had it. And I'll do anything that will help, anything to get me back on the path I'm supposed to live. I'm tired of living like this.
What would be your transition plan if you were to get long-term treatment and be released? You do have a good term date of October of next year, 2024. Hopefully we can get you in a program, speed that date up. But where would you live? What would you do if you get out?
Well, I have a trailer, mobile home in Independence that my mom and my dad left to me. I will live there. And my nephew, he's been working at Sanderson Farms for quite a few years in Hammond, and he will be my way to and from work.
What kind of work would you do?
It's at a chicken plant. They process chickens for Sanderson Farms, like deboning, plucking.
So your nephew would help you get a job? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir. He's been working there for quite a few years, and it's a really good job. They have insurance, they pay well, and he'll be my ride to and from work until I'm able to get my own vehicle.
It looks like, most of your arrests have been primarily as a result of your drugs. You've had 18 arrests, 5 felony convictions by my count. Do you have any family besides your nephew?
Yes, sir. I have my mom and my dad. I also have a little brother, but he's in the same predicament I'm in. He's in jail right now. And I want it to be whenever I get out, I'm going to get out before him. I want to have an impact on when he gets out so I can help him be on the right path. And so he won't end up back in here again like I did. I know if he sees me doing well, he's going to follow in my footsteps. I'm going to help him along the way as much as I can because I don't want anybody to have to go through what I've done and what my little brother's going through again.
Do you have children?
Yes, sir. I have one little boy. He's 8 years old.
Who does he live with?
He lives with his grandparents on his mama's side.
Where's his mother?
Sorry, what was that?
Where is his mother?
He got taken from her. OCS took him from her since he was 2 years old, and her mom's been having him ever since because we both had drug problems. Me and
His mother has a drug problem as well. What's her situation now?
I don't have contact with her anymore. I left her alone because she was part of the reason that I was always getting in trouble, and I just.
Do you have any contact with your son?
No, sir, I haven't. Not since he was about 2 or 3 years old.
Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Bezenet?
He's been at Rayburn since 8 of 22. Pretty impressive that he's been able to get all the classes and programming in since he's been here. I'm proud of my staff for being able to help him get into all of that. I talked to him yesterday. He came in, I was a little bit hesitant. Same old story. But after talking to him a little bit, it appears that he's ready to change. Just in the manner that he's humble and wants to get back out there, get a job, hopefully meet back up with his son and get back on the right side of the road. He has one write-up while he's been locked up. That was prior to him being here. So I can't say anything bad about him.
Okay. Thank you, Warden. Any questions? Mr. Bezenet, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
Appreciate y'all for giving me the chance, this opportunity, and I won't mess it up.
All right. Mr. Bezenet, I'll vote first.
All right. This one wasn't too long. Let me get the poll ready. And the timer ready. And the poll is in the chat. We got 5 minutes to get your votes in. Will the judges grant parole in this case? This one right here seems like a situation where drugs and drug abuse has gotten the best of this person. He was sentenced to 12 years for theft of a motor vehicle, most likely on some drug stuff, some drug related something, contraband, a couple other things. So he's only been there for a couple years, not much years he's been in there. So I don't know how much rehabilitation he's really gotten. He took quite a few classes. He does acknowledge that he will always be an addict, which I think is something that they like to hear. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'll get y'all votes in, and we'll see how it goes. To me, this one can go either way. It says, sure, he will get out, but you won't say what. It seems like this one can go either way. Either way, it seems to me. Build opioid clinics. This one is an interesting one. But not really. I think they might. Nah, I don't know, because he's only been in there for. He's just gotten in, and being that he has a drug problem, you might need more time. You might need more time off the drugs. You might need more time, more programs. Like, look what the drugs has caused. It caused, like, look, you got a 12-year sentence because of the drugs. Yeah, it's for 2 years on a 12-year sentence. I don't, because if you know anything about drug addicts, 2 years is not a long time. To be addicted to something and be off of it for 2 years, it's really not a long time. So, because a lot of the times they've been on it for they've been on it way more years than they've been off of it. So 2 years, you might need, let's say you've been on it for 10 years and you only been off 2 years, you might need at least 5, because within the next 3 years, you might end up back on it. You never know. You never know. If the drugs are the issue, is the place he is serving time adequate for the type of reform? You know what? I don't know. He didn't only, some of the crime, some of the crime, stealing the car, I don't know. The drugs might be the driving force of it, but still the nature of the crime might still be enough to land you in jail. It's not like you were caught using or possessing it. You used it and then committed crimes. Using it and having possession of it in itself is a crime. So the fact that you used it or possessed it and then committed a crime on top of that. It's like, does drug use require time? No. Drug use requires rehabilitation, in my opinion. We got 10 seconds left to vote. And no, we don't. Voting time is over. All right, the voting time is over. The votes are in. The results are in. We got 25 votes. Will the judges grant parole in this case? We got 60% of the people says no, they will not grant parole, and 40% says yes, they will grant parole. Seems like this one is up in the air for a lot of people. Almost half. Almost half. Well, the vote is in. Let's see how it goes. Judges?
In looking at your history, and looking at your interview today, I agree with the warden. It sounds to me like you've turned a corner. You're 39 years old, is that right?
Yes, sir, it is.
You've got a lot of life left, but you're a drug addict, and that's a real problem. I mean, boy, you rattled off as many drugs as most of us have heard about, so you've been doing drugs for quite some time. I am impressed by the fact that you have done a lot of things since your escape. You were honest with me. You were doing drugs when you walked away from your work release program. I believe, as I said earlier, I think you need some long-term drug treatment. So my vote today would be to take a chance on you and to grant your parole conditioned upon you entering long-term substance abuse program in the Department of Corrections, primarily at Steve Hoyle. I hope that we can get you in there, and upon completing that program, to follow all of their recommendations, and then to do at least 3 AA meetings per week, be randomly drug screened, and have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. I'm just one vote, but that's my vote. So good luck to you. Mr. Rocha?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My vote is the same reasons, and I'd like to add one condition to your parole after release. I want you to do community service 4 hours a month with at-risk youth. Talk to youth groups and tell them your story and try to lead them in the right direction.
Thank you, Mr. Rochette. Ms. Wise?
Mr. Sean, you're very impressive today. Your sincerity came forward to me. That's what I'm picking up. But I do want you to, if you get an opportunity to spend time with your son, make your son aware of the addiction that's in his DNA from his mom and his dad. Figure out a way, get a book or something, give to him at the proper time. Let him know that if he goes out and drink alcohol or smoke with his buddies, the next day he's going to be prone to want it. Whereas other friends, they might smoke alcohol and they fine the rest of the week, and the next weekend they'll do it then. But because of the DNA from his parents, his addiction is going to be a whole lot different. And I pray you have an opportunity to tell him that. My vote is to grant as well for the reasons already stated. But due to your poor supervision history, I want you to report weekly for the first 4 weeks with your PO. Get acclimated to your PO. Figure out that your PO is on your team and wants to help you. Best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Vezinet, your parole has been granted conditionally upon your enrollment and completion of the Steve Hall program. Upon your release, you'll to follow all recommendations of the Steve Hall program. You are to attend 3 AA meetings per week. Thereafter, you'll have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. you to be randomly drug screened. Once you've been out about 6 months, we'll let you do, we want you to do 4 hours of community service with at-risk youth, as well as for the first 4 weeks that you report weekly to your parole officer. So good luck to you, sir. It sounds like you've turned a corner. As Ms. Wise often says, sit on the front row when you get to Steve Hoyle, pay attention. And when you get out, make sure that you try to reestablish your relationship with your son and follow up on Ms. Wise's advice to you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. I sure will.
Well, he's going home. He is going home. Hey, I didn't expect it, but the man is going home. I was thinking, I was leaning a little bit more towards they say he has to do a little bit more time. Say, you know what, on your next parole hearing, you know, we'll let you out. But it seems like it was sufficient. So I'm sure the people that thought that he was not going to be granted parole, that was the vote, right? You guys thought he wasn't? Let me check. Let me double check the vote. Yeah, so 60% thought that he was not going to be granted parole. 60% thought that he was not going to be granted parole. So, their job is not as easy as we think, huh? Or maybe voting is not as easy as you think. But yeah. You knew he would get out? Uh-huh. Well, that was an interesting one. And as you can see, sometimes it might not always go the way you think it might go. And sometimes it does. Sometimes it does unanimously. Sometimes it does unanimously. So we got one more, and then we are out of here today. Well, please like the video if you have not already. Subscribe to this channel, Wabbit Crime Network. If you have a community wall, please share this channel. Also, join the Wabbit Crime Network if you don't want to miss out on any content or anything from the Wabbit Crime Network. Please join the Discord, Wabbit Crime Network Discord. I will be putting a lot of resources and crime content in there, articles and updates on certain things, certain topics that I'll be covering on this channel. If you want to support this channel, you can support this channel with PayPal at the Wabbit Crime Network at PayPal, or with the Cash App at the Cash App at Wabbit Crime Network. You can also hit the Super Chat, and you can join the membership to get the perks for when we do members only content, which is coming soon. Members only chat. Look forward to a lot of premieres coming out on this channel. Also, we are getting to the last case. We are getting to the last case now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this content, as I plan on bringing you a lot more content similar and just like this. Also some other content, some other crime content. So this is how this is going to go for the people that are not familiar. We are going to watch a parole hearing. Inmate is up for parole. He will go in front of a panel of judges. The judges will interview the inmate, and then the judges will vote on whether or not they will grant the inmate parole. So before the judges grant the inmates parole or not grant or deny, I will stop the video, I will pause the video, and I will do a poll so that the audience can vote whether or not they think the judges will grant or deny parole for the inmate. That poll will be up for 5 minutes, and then I will end the poll. I will read the results of the poll, and we will then play the judge's verdict, the judge's decisions, and see if the audience might have been right. See if the audience and the judges might have been on the same page. We got our magnifying glasses, so we've been paying attention and we're listening closely and intently. And we're making our decision as if we were the judges. This is actually good practice for jury duty. But the link in the description can help you find any more information about parole hearings. If you want to know anything about any of these cases that you've seen today, you can look at the video and listen to the part when they say their name and the docket number. The name and the docket number you can use to click the link in the description and to find out anything more about the inmates and their case and cases or anything about parole hearings. And we're going to find out what the inmate was charged with, how long they've been in prison, how long the sentence was, and we're going to hear some details about the crime, and then the judges will make the decision. So without any further ado, let's get to the case. I will be in the chat until then.
Information into the record. Then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. We'll ask the warden for some comments as to his knowledge of you and what you've done while you've been there. After we've conducted the interview, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. You understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Ronnie White, DOC number 427440, date of birth March the 25th of 1977. He's a first-class felony offender. Parole eligibility date of March 25th of 2022. An adjusted good time date of July 9th of 2042. The full term date of March the 7th of 2049. He is currently serving a 49-year, 6-month sentence on the charge of armed robbery, having been sentenced on April the 15th of 2000. Mr. White, is this information accurate?
Sentence on, no, not April, August 15th.
August 15th. You're right. I did say April, but it is August. And 8 looks like a 4 to me, maybe. I don't know. It's getting late in the morning. The case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise. Ms. Wise will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How's it
Good
going?
morning.
How's it going for you?
I'm blessed.
Good, good. I am as well. I am as well. Call out for the record how long you've been in jail on this charge.
24 years, a month, and 2 weeks.
24 years. Okay. And how old are you today?
46.
You're 46. The record show you have 2 children. What's the ages of your children?
27.
Both of your children are age 27?
Yes, ma'am.
They have 2 different mothers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of relationship do you have with your children?
Wonderful.
That's good to hear.
I'm good all the time.
Okay, good. So they're probably watching today, huh?
Probably so.
Okay, good. I'm just gonna put some things on the record. You do have law enforcement opposition to your early release. And then the judge had indicated you would defer to probation parole as to early release. 2 of your victims had no comments, and one of your victims decided that today's decision should be based on how you've been doing since you've been in prison. And I thought that was really unique. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And they left the decision to the parole board as to early release. And that is one of the major things we look at, is what you've done since the crime.
Yes, ma'am.
And as to write-ups, this is what I'm showing. You have had 7 write-ups in 2022, 7 write-ups in 2021, 2 write-ups in 2020, 2 in 2019, and 1 in 2018. Is that about right?
Yes, ma'am.
What's going on? What's going on with these write-ups? What's going on with these write-ups?
Well, I know you ain't supposed to be smoking. My last few write-ups was smoking write-ups. Thinking we're going to yard, and I understand that, but that's why I straightened that up. I ain't even get no write-ups. That's why I stopped smoking. That way I won't get no write-ups.
Oh, okay. So when did you stop smoking?
Last year when I got the write-up, we'll be all the yard.
Okay. So you've decided you want to go home?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do? And what now?
I said it was time. I wanted better, not just for me going home, better for me as a person.
That's good to hear. Call out for the record some of the programs you've taken.
Substance abuse, anger management, took faith-based, pre-release. I took HIV awareness classes, a lot of faith-based programs.
Okay. And speaking of going home, do you have a trade?
Well, cooking, I do that one. As far as this through a certificate trade, no ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of work would you look for?
Cooking. That's what I love to cook.
Oh, you love to cook?
Yes, ma'am.
But we like to eat food from cooks who love to cook.
I created my own burger. You'll taste it too one day.
Create your own what?
Burger.
All right now. Don't put it out. Don't say it out, because somebody pick it up. Good. Say that. All right, that's all I had. Those write-ups are just they just but you know that. And the write-ups are very concerning and the timings on it. But we'll talk. Warren, what can you tell us about this young man?
It's funny you say that. That's the exact same conversation that he and I had. As far as everything else, I think he's doing a good job. He does a good job here. But looking back at his past disciplinary history while in prison, now he may have turned the curve. I don't know, but that is a little bit concerning.
Thank you, Warren. That's all I had, Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. White, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
Yeah, I would like to see everyone involved, the victims, my family, and everyone, I would like to see, I'm sorry for what y'all went through, and I'm sorry for putting y'all through it by me being young and naive, by my incarceration, I didn't, elevated myself up to the standards of being a standard citizen in this community. I just like everybody to know I'm sorry for what they went through.
Thank you very much. So we appreciate your comments, Mr. White. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
All right, the panel is ready to vote. Is the audience ready to vote? Let me write this and put this in the chat. Let me get the timer ready. All right. We got 5 minutes. The timer is set. The poll is in the chat. Will the judges grant parole in this case? Get your votes in. Armed robbery. He is locked up for armed robbery. He's done 20-something years. Um, he has a lot of write-ups though. 7 write-ups one year, 7 write-ups the next year. Like that's a lot of write-ups, and those write-ups are like just a couple years ago, a year ago, year before. Like to me, that doesn't look good, as as the lady suggested. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking they might deny him. I'm thinking they might deny him, but then again, I'm thinking they might parole him. I really don't know what they're gonna what they're gonna pick for this one. Because they didn't ask much questions, I'm thinking that they already made the decision. I'm thinking that they already know what they're gonna say. Um, because the other like I don't know. I'm thinking to say no. I'm thinking to say no. Only because it's like they're not asking them nothing. It's almost like they don't want to know nothing. I'm like, why they don't want to know anything? Or that could just be they know enough and they already decide they're gonna let him go, or they're gonna, you know what I mean? They gave him enough time. He did enough time. They didn't. You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say they're gonna parole him because they didn't go in the nature of the crime as if it was like a real, like the details of the crime. They didn't really go into it like how egregious the crime might be, and even the victim said that they're willing to let the parole board decide based on his behavior. Um, maybe he robbed, maybe he committed the robbery without any violence. Um, the smoking, yeah, but it wasn't drugs. I don't think. I believe it was a cigarette. Um, he had 487 violations in jail. Gosh. Yeah, that one kind of got overlooked. That's a lot. Armed is aggravated. Oh, I'm about to say. No, okay, she exaggerated. I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments. So I think there wasn't any violence because he would have been charged with that as well. Okay. He said he's not going home. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's been there for 20 something years. Do you think that might be enough time to have learned your lesson? With all I don't that's not the correct violations. I'm reading the chat. Sorry. Yeah. So he actually had I said he had 7 violations the year prior and 7 before. I'm not sure if I heard how much he had altogether. All right, we got 23 seconds left on the clock to vote. He has his own signature hamburger. Yeah. All right, we got 5 seconds to vote. And the votes, the poll is closed. All right, we got 29 votes. Will the judges grant parole in this case? 51% said no, 48% says yes. Wow. This is almost 50-50. And it might only be that way because it's an odd number of votes. Wow. This one is pretty much down the middle here. We got 51 and 48. Wow, 51. Make sure I read it again. 51% says he will be denied. No, he will be denied. And 48% says yes, he will be granted parole. Oh, man. This is a tight one. All right, guys. Let's see. We have a room divided. We have a chat divided. We have a chat divided down the middle. All right. Judges.
Regardless of what you hear come out of my mouth, I want you to hear not yet. Okay, just not yet. My vote today is to deny because of your disciplinary record and the need for a longer time write-up free and the opportunity to take more programs. I urge you to reapply as soon as you're eligible for a rehearing with no write-ups and take advantage of any and every program you can find. And also get with your family and have a plan. If they can't appear at the hearing, let them send a letter in saying, you can stay with me. I'll help them find a job, have a plan. If, like I said, if they can't attend the hearing in person or on Zoom, they can send a letter in advance. So you will already, have some documentation as if you're released and what's been set up, but not yet.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Rocha?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My vote is the same for the same reasons. Mr. White, you had 26 disciplinary write-ups between the years of 2016 and 2022 and has lost 398 days of good time. Unacceptable. Turn it around, okay?
Well, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rocha. Mr. White, you have 2 votes to deny. My vote likewise is to deny, mainly because of your discipline. You need to go a little longer without any write-ups and take a few courses. So as Ms. Wise says, not yet, but close. Good luck to you, sir.
All right,
Board, thank you so much for your help. We're going to close out at 11:23.
All right. And we did it. We wrapped that up. We have finished and we've gotten through another one. So that was great. He was denied. We had a room divided. 51% said he was going to get denied. 48% thought he wasn't going to get denied. But ultimately, he was denied. I appreciate everyone for coming out. Look forward to more content like this. I want to give a shout out to all the members before we get up out of here. I want to shout out to Dana Maria, D. Grant, Alif CJ, Colby Knows, Distracting One, Gems Eye View, Long Live EA, Tesh Aziz, Highly Favored, Uncle L, Go Getter, Rally Time TV, Sunrise 71, Steve A, The Real Geechee 67 RCL, Trey Spectives, Evol May, and Courtney Peach. I want to thank all of the viewers and subscribers, everyone that passed through, hit the like button, all the people that voted and participated in the live stream. I appreciate you. And we will meet again. And thank you for supporting the Wabbit Crime Network. Everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.